What's up guys, Dan DeSalvo here. Welcome to the video, and right now I want to share with you how I do breakfast. Hope you're all doing amazing today, and I just want to share that this is not directly in response to the virus and pandemic and all that going around. This is simply just something I've been wanting to do and share for a long time, and everything I'm going to share here really just promotes overall health. So you could think of it that it may do good things for that, but this is not in direct response to that. So how I do breakfast, let's get this kicked off. First is we got to get into the mindset of asking ourselves, what is the purpose of breakfast? What does it serve as? And perhaps you'd agree with me when pondering that question, is that it serves to optimize our bodies and optimize our minds for the day ahead, all the tasks that lie ahead, our work, coming back to our families, and just showing up as our best selves and not being kind of, taken under the bridge by less than stellar, poor nutritional choices. So come at it from that mindset of asking, what does breakfast serve as? And you think you may find that it serves as, how can we make the most of our mind and body and really own that? And another way I think of it is as a service to myself and an investment in myself for the hours, the entire day that lies ahead. And for this video also, fun thing we're gonna do is, I have not planned my breakfast. I'm actually gonna make my breakfast right now for you guys. I don't have a plan for it, so we're gonna go in my fridge. I'm gonna walk you through like my thought process and what I'm gonna make, and I'm going to basically walk you through on like making it and making something from scratch. So we're going to be doing that. So getting a little bit more into the specifics, there are certain things that we want to include, and there are certain things we want to minimize and avoid. So to include, we definitely want to include nutritious whole foods with a strong emphasis on fat, fiber, protein. These are going to be the things that are really going to help us in our daily goal of optimizing our bodies, optimizing our minds for the day that lies ahead. And these are going to be the things that are going to serve to keep us full, keep us satiated, keeping us focused, and keeping us more in that amazing fat burning state versus a fat storing state and a fat accumulating state. Of course, you still can include carbohydrates here. I'm not cutting that out. The important thing to keep in mind with carbohydrates is it's the portion size. So if you make something like whole grain oatmeal, rolled oats, steel cut oats, some sweet potatoes, some cooked sweet potato cubes, which I love personally. The most important thing is that portion size. Where a lot of people may get this a little messed up is we have these, it's become like standard and conventional, and it astounds me. We have these breakfasts that are just carbohydrate dominant. There is no fat. There is no protein. Those are the things we want. There's no fat, there's no protein, there's no fiber, and it's just this like carbs. And that's not what we want here, but we can still include carbohydrates at breakfast. It's just a matter of reducing the portion size and not making it the grand focus. Those are some of the things you would definitely want to include. Big emphasis on fat, fiber, protein. In with the fiber is vegetables. Definitely include vegetables at breakfast. It's a great complementary thing. And you can include those carbohydrates. Again, you just want to make sure keeping that portion size controlled and to a minimum on the smaller side. So now on to the things we want to avoid, and you could probably add up 2 and 2 together by now and figure this out. It's going to be the larger amount of carbohydrates, the big portion of carbohydrates, the refined carbs, the sugar, and quite honestly, they're going to be the things that from a very young age we've been programmed and conditioned to think is a nutritious and healthy breakfast, which astounds me. These are the things like a big bowl of cereal in the morning, which is all carbohydrates and sugar. It all processes the same way. A bagel, through the drive-thru, a donut, a muffin, a piece of cake. No, we're not eating like pieces of cake here. Just like fruit, It's crazy thinking like, fruit's a good thing, but again, it's the timing at this point of the day. We don't want to be having this large amount of carbohydrates. Again, like I said, you want to limit it. So when creating your breakfast, it's very important to come up with a plan of some things you want to have on hand, and also having the mindset of not just limiting it to the conventional breakfast foods like I just said. Don't be afraid to get weird. Include very non-breakfast foods. Again, it's coming back to the purpose of breakfast, what the meal serves as. And I'll tell you this, cereal isn't going to set you up for a good day. I don't care what cereal you're eating. May set up our taste buds for a great start, enjoying that, but that's not going to affect us physiologically with any benefit as the day goes on. So before I get into it and I rummage around my fridge and in the kitchen and I actually start making my breakfast, I just want to go a little bit deeper and expand on why this matters, why this is important for setting yourself up to have a successful day. Let's focus on limiting our carbohydrate intake in the morning, and better yet, eliminating the refined carbs, the sugar, and all that in the morning. This is why. Those are going to be the things that are going to cause those same day issues, such as the frequent blood sugar fluctuations, which are then going to lead to things like mental fogginess, irritability, lack of focus, and drops in your energy. Which, this isn't the end of the world, but the problem arises when that energy crashes down, and what that's going to do is then we're going to have that low blood sugar, and then we're going to be on the lookout, and we're going to be open to anything that is sweet, that is usually some type of like refined carbohydrate. We're going to be open to anything that crosses our eyesight, and we're going to take that right in. This is one way how that cycle of blood sugar fluctuations and the spike in energy and then the drop in energy, how this happens throughout our day. Huge thing here affecting our lifestyle in general is if we have these constant blood sugar fluctuations throughout the day and our energy is all over the place, that's definitely going to affect our lack of drive to then want to exercise later in the day. I highly doubt that's going to happen. That's on the short-term side, kind of like the daily cycle. On the longer-term side, this can lead to things like insulin resistance, which can then lead to something like prediabetes or full-blown type 2 diabetes. It can lead to weight gain, and it can lead to fat storage if those consumed carbohydrates, excess carbohydrates, aren't used for fuel, for movement on a daily basis. Not to mention then, the more we do something, the more it becomes ingrained as a habit, the easier it is for us to keep doing it, and the more likely it is we're going to seek that out. So it's super, super critical to then catch these patterns early on before they become, full blown. So that way we can actually optimize them and do something about it. All right, so now let's get into how I do breakfast and kind of some of the staples that I like to make. One, eggs are definitely a huge staple in my breakfast. I always do some type of egg, either over easy. I would do an omelet with some vegetables and some sweet potato. Sometimes I include a protein shake with half a banana, some nut butter, some nuts and seeds, a couple superfood powders. I soak some steel cut oats overnight. Soaking any type of grain or bean or rice greatly improves its nutritional bioavailability and improves its ease of digestion and breakdown in our system. So I do some type of, again, that small portion, one small bowl of something like an oatmeal. We recently made beef liver pate. I would have that on a small piece of toasted sourdough. I would have some sauerkraut or some kimchi on top of that. I know it may be a little strange, but again, here you don't want to be afraid to get weird and eat things that might be a little bit unconventional. Of course, you want to start with things you do enjoy, but again, like we were talking about, and this is going to be echoed in this video, that what is the purpose that breakfast serves? So, if your habit is eating cereal every day, you're going to have to get outside your comfort zone. That is where growth happens. So doing a little something different. You may not be doing sauerkraut and pate right away, but the point is expanding your repertoire. And I do anything and everything in between. Avocados are a big staple in my breakfast. Some type of cooked vegetable. I might do some broccoli. I would do some Brussels sprouts. I would do some kale, and I can't rule out if there's some leftover from the night before. I'm not afraid to use that as my breakfast. Again here, I'll say it again. It's the purpose that breakfast serves, is setting us up and optimizing our body and our mind for the day ahead. All right, so I broke this down. Let's finally get into actually kind of rummaging through the kitchen, and let's put together just a badass breakfast. Let's go. All right, so here we go. Let's open this up. Usual way I like to do things is just kind of open up the fridge, grab whatever I might want to do out, and then once everything's out, then I'll actually come up with something. So up here we got some homemade bone broth. I'm definitely going to be having some of that, some good fat and protein, collagen in the morning. And this is real time here. I got half an avocado, definitely that. Maybe hummus, maybe not. This is that beef liver pate. I'm probably gonna, I need to finish that off, so I'll probably do some of that. Shredded chicken, probably gonna do some of that. Let's see here, piece of raisin, sprouted wheat raisin bread. Let's see here, definitely gonna do eggs. These are actually duck eggs, phenomenal. Local pasture-raised eggs, doesn't get much better than that. Vegetables here, I'm definitely gonna do a couple pieces of kale. Here we go. This thing, I've really been loving sauerkraut and kimchi in the morning. It just makes me feel really good. Those good probiotics there. I think that's just about everything. We'll come back in here if there's something else. But yeah. Again, I'm showing this to you guys here in real time. So what I'm going to be doing is, we got the duck eggs. I'm probably going to just kind of cook one of these over easy, but I'm going to chop up the kale, and I'm going to cook the kale in first, kind of make it like a small scramble, crack in the egg, mix that around so it'll be like a small little like omelet scramble. I'm going to heat up some bone broth just in a pot. I'm going to do there's not that much left. I'm going to do the rest of that. And then here's that combo of the bread, the pate, and the kimchi. So I'm gonna toast the bread, spread some of the pate on, a good healthy amount, because it is so nutritionally dense. It's amazing. It's definitely an acquired taste, but once you get a hang of it, you find out what complements it, makes it, you can really juices up your palate nicely. And for me, I find that kimchi or something fermented really makes it enjoyable. And then I got the shredded chicken and the avocado here. I'm just going to do that on the side. Actually, as a matter of fact, I'm going to put the chicken in with the eggs, and then I'm just going to do avocado on the side. I'll probably squeeze some fresh lemon on top of the avocado, just kind of mash it up, a little bit of salt. So let's get started. For the bone broth. Okay. I got the broth heating up. Usually the broth will be the first thing done, so I would just sip on that as the rest is cooking. The real order of things I do here is get the broth heating up so I can enjoy that. I got the cast iron heating up for the eggs and chicken and kale. I got that going. That'll be the next big thing I would do, and then I just pop the toast in the toaster oven, because that's just a matter of the toast, and I just spread these things on it. So I got the pan hot, and I got some kale in there with a good quality cooking oil. I actually used bacon fat. Use a high quality oil that can handle high heat, like butter, like ghee, avocado oil, bacon fat. Just make sure to avoid those processed vegetable oils. All right, so the broth is just about done. I'm gonna take that off. I'm actually gonna mix in some homemade garlic ghee and a pinch of salt. I'm gonna whisk that up. Then for the kale also, this doesn't take long to cook, probably only a couple of minutes. So I'm gonna pop the chicken in right now, let that go, pop in some spices, and then I'm going to crack the duck egg in. Now I'm gonna Pop some of the chicken in. And as that's getting done, I'm popping that bread in the toaster oven. Crack that egg in there, some beautiful dark yellow, almost orange yolk. Let that go for a couple minutes, stirring that up occasionally. Good to go. I'm gonna get this avocado right here. Perfect timing, toaster just went off. Okay. Got this gorgeous piece of toast here. We got the pate. Take some of that. Good healthy amount. So nutritionally dense, it's amazing. And I got this kimchi, not a lot left, but I'm gonna just kind of spoon the rest on. It's gonna be a little bit juicy, but that's good. A little salt on that avocado. Here we go. Here, this absolutely fantastic breakfast. A little bit of avocado with some salt on it. Little single duck egg scramble omelet with some kale and shredded chicken, loaded with protein. Got those vegetables and fiber. One piece of this raisin bread with a good healthy spread of fresh beef liver pate, some kimchi on top. You know, you got to remember too, you know, this isn't pancakes and waffles, but sometimes it's about, like I said, that investment of how we're going to feel throughout the day. And I'm sure a big focus for a lot of us, like myself also, is my physique, my body, keeping my body fat percentage down, keeping my lean muscle tissue up, and this is what's going to help that. So that's a big thing, you know, part of your concern. Consider changing up your breakfast to something that is going to optimize you a little bit more for those goals that you have, because they are important to a lot of us, and you know, rightfully they should be. So here's my breakfast. Not a guarantee that this is going to fill me up 100%. I may make a small protein shake after this, but that's it right here. This is my breakfast. I hope you enjoy taking you through and kind of making it in real time. And I did not think I didn't plan prior to opening up my fridge like you saw and actually making the breakfast. So this was real time. And then of course I got my bone broth on the side. This is fantastic. If you guys like this, drop a comment. Let me know what you guys want to see in following videos. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit the like button. That helps me out greatly. I'll talk to you guys soon.